Hi everyone, in this video we're going to go over a comprehensive checklist to designing an awesome WordPress website. WordPress is one of the world's leading content management systems, and it's the popular choice for most businesses, mainly because of its ease of use, security and reliability. WordPress constantly performs better than its competitors with over 50 million users. With that in mind, we've created the ultimate checklist to help you create an incredible design that attracts your audience and ensures that it performs well on search engine results page. From registering your domain name to optimizing your site, designing your site, and then picking an appropriate hosting provider for your site, we have everything covered. Before we get started, it's important to note that there are two platforms out there. One called WordPress.com and another is WordPress.org. The main difference between these two versions is simply just the way your site is hosted. So WordPress.com is a hosting platform that provides you with a turnkey solution, while WordPress.org is a self-hosted solution, so you take care of the hosting yourself. However, the software used to run both versions is the same. In this video, we're going to cover how to use WordPress.org. But before you get started, the first thing you want to think of is your domain name. So the first thing you need to do when building your website is to get your domain name. This is how people find your website in the search bar. And the most important parts for your WordPress website are your root and top level domains. The top level domain is the very end of the domain, and the most popular top level domain is .com, which is why most names are under that. There are loads of alternatives out there like .co.uk, .us, .ie, or even .org and .net. Select your preference and you'll have your top level domain. A root domain is what comes before the .com. So for example, the name of your website would be the root domain, and then .com would be the top level of your domain. Root domains allow you to express your creativity, and it is a great way of highlighting your business name. The two restrictions of a root domain is that it has to be unique and that it can only contain numbers, letters, and hyphens, no other special characters. It's possible to buy on already registered domains, but they usually come with a really hefty price tag. There are plenty of websites out there that you can buy a domain unique to you from, and those are domains providers like GoDaddy, Namecheap, and Bluehost. When it comes to domain, GoDaddy is one of the most popular domain registrars out there. They're quite reliable and they're known worldwide as the largest domain registrar. To buy a domain, you simply go onto GoDaddy.com, type in the name of the domain that you want, and just click on search domain. So you can see from GoDaddy search, they'll show you all of the available domains that there are. So you have the .co.uk version, and they also give you alternatives as well, and they'll give you the pricing as well for it. If you scroll down, they'll show you some more options as well with different pricing. You can see different different top level domains will have different pricing as well. Depending on what your root level domain is, you can go into premium pricing, which can get into very expensive. So the good thing about GoDaddy is that they tend to give you lots of great alternatives as well, whether that's a slightly different root domain or if it's a slightly different top level domain as well. With all of them, you can see they're all listed out here with the pricing and what the domain actually is, but you'll find on some of them there are restrictions applying, meaning that you can use the domain. However, there will be some restrictions that you need to adhere to if you want to be using that domain. So for example, this one here, if you click into that, you can see that there are restrictions to it. And if you click into it, you can see the product limitations come up. And you can see exactly what those product limitations are, and you can kind of read through this and see if it's something that's still suitable for your website, and if not, you can pick something else. But essentially, once you have picked a domain that you like, what you want to do is click on Make It Yours, and it'll add itself to the cart. You can continue adding more and more domains if you want, but if you want to just stick to the one domain that you have, you just want to click on Continue to Cart. Next thing you want to do is select the domain protection. So if your business is built on your domain, you need protection. And what that means is GoDaddy will help protect your site, your actual domain, and help ownership of it. So it'll prevent hackers from stealing your domain names and making any other unauthorized changes. And it also just means when it comes to doing very important changes like deleting or transferring your domain, it requires two-factor verification from yourself. So it's quite, they go through a lot of steps basically to make sure that your domain is protected. There's two versions. There's full domain protection, and then there's also ultimate domain protection. And in ultimate domain protection is everything that full domain has. And it also allows you to hold on to your domain name for an extra 90 days if your credit or debit card method expires. So you have an extra layer of protection if your domain name is to expire. So you can have that as well. Obviously, with the more protection you add, the slightly more expensive your domain name becomes. But it's up to you to kind of figure out exactly how much protection you would need, how reliant is your business onto your domain name. If it is, then in the long run, it's so much better to just get the ultimate domain protection and save you the hassle in the future. Some domain providers, just like GoDaddy, will offer additional add-ons. GoDaddy themselves have a free website builder, and they will also set up a free maintenance page on your site while your website is still being built. So that just means then you have your domain live and you have a page where you can direct potential customers or potential viewers onto your website too, and they'll just see the maintenance page. And you can also then just use their builder to build your own website as well. Other things that some domain providers might add, including GoDaddy, is an email address. So they'll allow you to create an email address that matches your domain. So whichever domain that you've selected, it'll be your name at yourdomainname.com or .uk.us, whatever it is that you've selected. Again, these features will increase the price of your domain. However, if it's something that you're going to be using anyway, it works well to kind of do it all in one through one provider as opposed to getting it in separately. Having a custom email address will make your website look a lot more professional and will give users a bit more peace of mind that this is a legit website, especially if it's for things like e-commerce as well, where you are handling sensitive credit card information, things like that. You want to make sure that your site is as professional as possible, and having a custom email address that matches your domain can help you with that. You can go through and see what they offer. So obviously there's the different features offer different pricing as well. You can have just the basics, it'll give you the email essentials, and you can go all the way to professional, so an increased amount of cloud storage, shared collaboration, and a whole suite of Microsoft apps, things like that. So you can go through each of the features, and if they're things that you're going to use anyway, or things that you might use if they were given to you as well, it might make more sense to buy them through your domain provider if they're offering you that as part of their service. And you can always just go opt in for no professional email as well. Then you want to just continue to cart. And you'll need to create a account with GoDaddy first. So you can either sign in with an existing account, or you can create a new account while you're purchasing your domain. And once you've created your account, you can just sign in and just continue to check out. So the next thing you want to do is follow the checkout procedure and fill in all your billing information. So the billing information is used to register your products and actually pay for your domain. What you want to make sure is that you're registering the domain for however long you want to register it for. So if you go into your cart, it'll ask you to decide how long you want to register your domain for. So obviously when you buy a domain, you don't purchase the domain indefinitely. You purchase the domain for a certain number of years, and after those years go by, your license to use that domain then expires, and you then have to purchase another certain number of years if you decide to keep up with the domain, or if you don't need it anymore, then you don't need to keep paying for it. You'll find that with a lot of domain hosting providers is that they'll give you discounts based on how long your billing cycle is. So usually what happens is it's more cheaper to buy a domain if you buy it for a longer period of time, whether that's 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. GoDaddy go all the way up to 10 years. Some other hosting providers might go for less, but you essentially pick the number of years that you want to register your domain for, and you want to decide that before you start paying for it. And then your domain will basically be renewed after the certain number of years have passed. Again, it's up to you how long you want to register your domain for, but it usually works out cheaper if you were to register a domain for a certain number of years. And after those years have passed, it's up to you if you want to renew the domain as well. If you don't renew the domain, it's up for grabs for anyone, so anyone can come in and take your domain name as well. So you want to make sure that you are able to buy your domain if you ever need to. GoDaddy will let you know before your domain expires that your domain is about to expire, so you will get notifications from them. So you can make a decision pretty early on if you want to renew then and there, or if you want to just let the domain expire, you don't need the domain anymore. But essentially, you want to pick the amount of years that you want to register your domain for, and then all you need to do is click "I'm ready to pay" and fill in all the billing information at the checkout. You can do this with PayPal, or you can just do this with standard credit and debit card payments as well. So that's the process for GoDaddy. A lot of other popular domain registrars work similar as well. So 123reg, Namecheap.com, they all follow a similar process where you type in the name that you want. They will show you if the name is available, or if there's not available but there's similar ones there, and you can pick from there as well. One thing you might come across when you are searching for a name on GoDaddy is that you'll find that a website domain that you really want or that you really need is already taken. So it'll show up something like this. You'll type in the domain that you want, and it'll show you that the domain is already taken. And while it's not impossible to get the domain if you really needed it, it can be quite pricey. So GoDaddy offer a brokering service where you will let them know exactly how much you're willing to pay for that domain, and GoDaddy's own brokers will then go to the person who owns the domain and will try and work out a deal that kind of works best for both you and the person who owns the domain. Again, it's not an surefire way of making sure you get the domain that you want. It is something that is an option that you can explore. They do have a fee of $51.99, and you have to pay that fee regardless of whether or not you end up paying for the domain or not. You can still end up paying a higher amount for that domain, but essentially someone from GoDaddy's team will work out the deal for you, and your identity will remain completely confidential. And then if you get to an agreement, then the domain will be securely transferred over to your account. Depending on who owns the domain, you could still end up paying a really high price for it. It might just be better to go for an alternative. But sometimes you can kind of work it out with GoDaddy and the domain provider as well, whoever's owning it, and try and get a price that kind of works for you. So yeah, registering your unique domain name on WordPress will ensure that other customers and consumers can enjoy what you have to offer on your website, and kind of establish your branding in that way as well. Once you have the domain name sorted, the next thing you want to think about is the hosting provider. So website hosting is essentially an online service that allows you to publish your website files onto the internet. Hosting providers will have large servers for you to place all of your website's codes, files, things like that onto their servers, and then people can then access your websites through those servers. So anyone that has, if you've ever been on any website or anything on the internet, it's all been hosted on a web server. So when it comes to WordPress hosting, you want to make sure that you select a web hosting provider that is well equipped to host your WordPress website, no matter what size it is, no matter what functionality it is, and also has adequate support available if you need it, in case anything goes wrong on your site. If you have any questions, you want to make sure that your hosting provider is capable of that as well. When you're sourcing a WordPress hosting provider, you need to find one that has a PHP version of 7.2 or greater, a MySQL version of 5.6 or greater, or Maria database version 10.0 or greater, and finally that it has HTTPS support. The best hosting provider that includes all of the above criteria is Bluehost. So Bluehost is a recommended WordPress hosting provider itself. Bluehost is one of the oldest web hosts around. Bluehost is also a really large brand name when it comes to WordPress hosting. You can see here that they've got even a dedicated section for their website hosting, managed hosting, things like that. With Bluehost, they're very good when it comes to making sure that if you have a website that you know will get a lot of traffic, it helps remove sort of any possibility of the website becoming slow due to that traffic. They're also have a 24/7 expert support. So if you ever need to either phone them, email them, live chat, it all comes within your hosting package as well. For small businesses, they are rated #1. On top of that, they are offering sort of WordPress beginner users an exclusive 63% off discount or 70% off discount for new online store plans as well. And they also come with the free site builder with templates as well. You can see on the website, they've got different sort of pricing and plans. If you click into pricing and plans here, you can see what they kind of offer in terms of hosting, dedicated hosting for certain plans as well, and their online store. If you go into WordPress and click on WordPress hosting here, you can see a bit more as well. This is their kind of pricing plans for WordPress hosting, and you would pick one that basically suits your needs as well. So their billing cycles go for 12 months or 36 months, so you can switch between the toggles to see what you're paying for depending on what billing cycle you've selected. For 12 months, so like yearly, you've got the basic, plus, choice plus, and pro. With all of them apart from the basic, you get free hosting. You get the hosting for an unlimited amount of websites. So with the basic, you just get the hosting for one website, whereas if you have multiple, then maybe one of the plus, choice plus, or pro would be better. So you can see what they're ideal for it. So plus is better for for small businesses. Then you've got one for growing businesses and one for high traffic blog and businesses as well. With the main differences between all of them, so obviously the number of websites that you can host with, and then you've got the different storage sizes for each of your websites. So depending on how big your site is, things like websites with e-commerce built in onto it, high traffic, then you want to look at ones with a higher sort of gigabyte storage. If you have a basic sort of brochure build website, then the 10 GB storage should be enough. But again, the storage kind of depends on your own website needs. They all come with sort of custom themes, and they all come with the 24/7 customer support as well. In terms of the other things that they include, so all of them include the free domain for 1 year. So if you don't have a domain already, you can buy one through Bluehost, and the first year of that domain will be free, and then you would pay for the years after that. You get a free CDN included and a free SSL certificate as well. You also get, with the Choice Plus and the Pro, you get free domain privacy. And domain privacy is a service offered by quite a different number of domain registrars, but basically when a user buys privacy from a company, they replace the user's information in the whois document with the information of a forwarding service. It just adds a few more layers of protection against spamming, data theft, and like things like that. The other things that you get is free automated backup. This is within the Choice Plus and the Pro as well. And you can see with the Pro tools as well, you've got multi-site management. So if you have a multi-site, Bluehost do offer management for that specifically. You also get access to a staging site. If you feel like this is some of your sites will have a need for that. If you're constantly making edits to your site, it's always better to kind of do them on a staging site and then push those edits live. And then you've got performance insights, and then you've got plugins collections as well with all of these. So depending on the size of your business and your budget, it might be that basic would be enough, or Choice Plus. Obviously, that's the one that's recommended. And also depending on what billing cycle you go for. So you've got the 12 months and you've got the 36 months. Obviously, with the 36 months, there is a little bit more savings in that. But it's up to you basically how you want to do all that. If you click on compare plans, you can see you've got a basic table view of what the differences between all of them are and what you're missing and what you're getting in terms of some of the payment plans as well. With Bluehost, it's really good because they have 24/7 WordPress hosting report. support. So if there is anything that's causing issues hosting wise on your site, the Bluehost are on hand and equipped to give you any kind of support, and it's either by call or you can do a live chat. So it's really important, especially if hosting something that you're new to and you're not sure anything about that. It's important that the hosting provider that you choose is available and equipped to give you that support whenever you need it. Another really important feature of Bluehost is that not only does it have managed sort of WordPress hosting, it also has WooCommerce hosting. So sites that have WooCommerce, so any kind of e-commerce site, would require a bit more resources and maybe a bit more support as well, because there's just a lot more going on. So Bluehost have their own kind of plans as well for WooCommerce plugins and WooCommerce enabled sites. And you can see they go for 1 month, 12 months, or 6 months, 36 months. And you can see what you get with all of them as well. You get your top features, you get website analytics, you get more storage, which you would need if you're having orders being placed on your site constantly. You also get the free SSL and Yoast as well. Yoast being the SEO optimization plugin. And then you've also got extra things like product search and filtering that you can add to your website. You can also add things like wish lists and bookings and appointments as well to your website. Powered by YITH. So this is just a third-party plugin provider for WordPress, basically, that gives you additional features to enhance the WordPress on your site, or the WooCommerce on your site. Additional e-commerce features that you have are the daily backups. You've got automated WordPress updates, and you've got secure online payments and unlimited products. And then with the online store and the marketplace, you get basically multi-channel inventory, which means basically if you're wanting to sell not just on your website, but maybe you also want to sell on things like Amazon, Etsy, any other third-party platforms, the Bluehost, this plan here, the online store marketplace, will help you sort of sell across those stores as well. So if you know that that's something that is suitable for your website and something that you're wanting to do, then one of these plans with Bluehost might be the best option for you. What's also really good about Bluehost is that they have a blog and resource section as well. This isn't just for WordPress websites, but they've got blogs for any kinds of website that you're wanting to build, and how to optimize your site as well. So they've got a range of sort of resources that you can go through and improve your site in any way that you need to. And obviously, if there's any issues that you're having with any part of your hosting or on your site, the chat feature is just here. All you would need to do is just select the plan that you want and then pay for the plan, and then your site will be hosted essentially with Bluehost. And any issues, obviously, you've got the support chat to help you with that as well. Another hosting provider that's very popular and common for WordPress websites is SiteGround. SiteGround provide really unique sort of in-house WordPress speed and security solutions to make your site as fast as possible and as secure as possible. They have really good 24/7 customer support, which is why they're an official WordPress recommended hosting provider. With SiteGround, some other features include automatic WordPress updates, daily backups, free CDNs, free email, things like that. Free SSL, one-click staging. They also have Git version control as well, which is really popular with developers. All of that is all included with some of their plans on SiteGround. They also feature automatic updates as well. They also are one of the few companies that offer location-specific hosting. They've got 6 different data centers in the US, Europe, Asia, and Australia. So in terms of site speed, that's really good because they'll pick basically a server that's closest to where your website would be based. On top of this, they also have a 63% discount as well, or up to 75% ultra-fast hosting as well. So to see their plans, all you want to do is go into SiteGround website, and you want to go into view plans as well. You can see they've got 3 different plans. They've got Startup, Grow Big, and Go Geek. All of them are offering 75% and a free domain as of right now. You can do, so some of them go for $2.99 a month, $4.99 a month, and $7.49 a month as well, which is slightly cheaper than the Bluehost hosting pricing as of now. Main difference between all of them is the number of websites. So both with the Grow Big and the Go Geek, you get the unlimited websites. So you can use this hosting for a different number of websites. Then you've got the actual web space. So you've got 10 GB, 20 GB, and 40 GB. So depending on which or what kind of website that you have. If you have a basic kind of brochure build website and it's only one website, then maybe the startup plan would work for you. Anything slightly bigger, if you get a lot of traffic as well on your websites, then you might want to go for the Grow Big or Go Geek. Those are the kind of main differences, but all of them include free domain, free SSL, daily backups, enhanced security, 30 days money back, and add collaborators. And some of the additional things that you can get, so for example with the Grow Big, you get the on-demand backup copies. So if you ever make a change to your website that you're not happy about, if you ever need a backup of a website, you get that. You can create a backup for first and then revert to that backup if you need to. So you can get up to 5 on-demand backups at a time with their Grow Big and their Grow Geek packages as well. And then you also get 30% faster PHP with the Go Big and the Go Geek, and you get staging as well with the Go Big. With the Go Geek, you get all of that. You get more web space, and you get more support for if you have more than a certain number, 400,000 visits a month. You get all the extras that you get with Go Geek, but then you also get compatibility with Git as well. So that can be really popular with some of the developers. And you can also white label clients, and that's basically when you register your client's account on the website. Your client won't see the SiteGround logo or name or anywhere. So you can provide sort of white label hosting and make it a bit more professional looking on the back end. So when your client logs in, they just see what they need to. You can get priority support. All of these include support, but with the priority support, they'll just get to you a bit faster. But they all include support. And then you also get sort of higher tier of resources. So this just means you get more resources applied to that website or to your hosting, and this can be good for bigger websites or websites that have e-commerce enabled onto them. And you get free private DNS. This just allows you to choose a custom domain name for your own web servers and name servers, and it's nice because you can sort of brand yourself as if you host the site and not another third party. So it's a kind of a nice thing to have. Similar to Bluehost, so they do have the different site plans. But then it just depends on, your site type, how much support you'd need, how many resources you would need on your website. If you are someone that, if you do have e-commerce, I would go for one of the Grow Big. Better to go for Go Geek, just so you get the more storage space, but you can go for these plans as well. If you click on compare hosting plans, you can see a little bit better what each of these offer. And then but you can always upgrade as well. If you go for the Grow Big and you realize actually you need a little bit more server space, and you want the private DNS or anything like that, then you just upgrade anytime you want, and then you can upgrade to that. You can also downgrade as well. So if you start off with Grow Big and you realize actually you're fine with just the basic, then you can always just go down as well. And then you can see sort of the different hosting plans as well. You can see they do specialize in WordPress hosting and they specialize in WooCommerce hosting. So both Bluehost and SiteGround are really good for if you do have those kinds of websites. Because then you can ensure you've got the appropriate number of resources allocated to each of those. And you've got if you ever need support, you've got capable and on-hand support to give you any information and advice, anything that you need. One of the drawbacks that SiteGround does have over compared to Bluehost is that it doesn't come with a free domain. So if you remember with Bluehost, you get a free domain if you were to purchase one of their plans for a year. So SiteGround doesn't do that, but it does have a lot of other good features like the customer support, one-click WordPress install. It does also have free website migration. So if you select one of their plans, you can see for a limited time they do have a free site transfer that they'll transfer the site for you for free at no cost. In terms of speed and performance, reliability, you want to make sure that you're picking a hosting provider that accommodates for that, and SiteGround does have a very good sort of performance time. The average load time is always under sort of 500 milliseconds and things like that. It just doesn't have the free domain, but it does have the free SSL, and you've got the free support as well. Similar to Bluehost, you can see that they also have their own kind of blogs as well, so you can stay updated with the latest news, and it just kind of reassures you that these are a very kind of capable company that are up to date with the latest tech in terms of hosting as well. And you can read through all of these. If there's any of these that you want to implement, if there are any issues, you can always go back to their support and go for anything that they're suggesting. So it's good to know that this is sort of like a company that is trying to always be up to date with those kind of things. So similar to Bluehost, SiteGround also has that as well. If you go into their About Us, you can see the previous clients that they have, and just some testimonials, so you can see sort of who they're kind of hosting and who kind of recommends them, to kind of give you a bit more peace of mind. And some success stories as well. So overall, SiteGround is also a very good kind of hosting provider that do offer specific hosting for their WordPress and WooCommerce users. The next option then is DreamHost. So DreamHost has been around for maybe 18 years, and it's known for making web hosting very kind of easy. You get your own kind of custom dashboard, and like SiteGround, you get one-click WordPress install. You get automatic WordPress updates, unlimited space, unlimited bandwidth, and free SSDs, which makes your site up to 200% faster. DreamHost powers over 1.5 million WordPress blogs and websites. They are also unofficially recommended WordPress hosting providers, just like SiteGround. They have similar sort of pros and cons of SiteGround and Bluehost. So if you go onto their website and you want to see their pricing, you just go into WordPress here, and then you just want to click on WordPress Basic. And you can see they've got pretty affordable WordPress hosting. They offer more billing cycles in SiteGround and definitely Bluehost, so that you can go for monthly, yearly, or 3 years, and you can see sort of the price plans as well. Obviously, the more the less reoccurring your billing cycle. So, for example, 3 years is going to come out as a lot cheaper. Their billing cycles and their hosting plans are split between sort of WordPress Starter and WordPress Unlimited. So this WordPress Starter is more for shared hosting, with entry-level price for new sites, including WordPress. The main thing with the WordPress Starter is that it's only hosting for one website, whereas the WordPress Unlimited is for unlimited number of websites. And then you've also, for both of them, you got the free domain included. So that's something that's included with DreamHost, but not included, and SiteGround, but not included with Bluehost. You get the one-click WordPress install. In fact, WordPress is actually pre-installed, so you don't have to even worry about that. Free domain and free SSL for both types of plans, and you have automatically daily backups. And again, they've got the 3-year, 1-year, and monthly plan, so they're a bit more flexible with their price plan. They also have email as low as $1.67 per month. However, in SiteGround and Bluehost, it's free, so that's a bit of a con there. So there's no free email. But they also just have free automatic WordPress migrations as well, WordPress website builder, and things like that. You can sort of compare a bit more, and you can see a little bit more of what you get. Both of them, you get the 24/7 ticket support and live chat support. So you are talking to an actual person, and any issues that you're having, that's something that they can help you out with. Neither of them offer kind of like a priority support. So it's the same amount of support as all of them. Unless you go for the 3-year. And again, you get the phone support callbacks as well, live chat support, but there's no kind of priority support as well. But they do have a good sort of 24/7 ticket support system. They are kind of known for their great customer service. And just like SiteGround, it is an officially recommended WordPress hosting provider. So there is a lot about DreamHost that people kind of, love, and they're a good kind of reliable hosting platform to use. A lot of people who use DreamHost find it to be fast and reliable, and they have so far the most sort of flexible hosting plans in terms of the different billing cycles that they have, even though they only just offer 2. And they've got they're known for their friendly kind of customer support, and very capable customer support. Similar to Bluehost and SiteGround, you can see they've got hosting for WordPress Basic, and they've also got hosting for WooCommerce, and they kind of guarantee sort of good uptime, extreme speed, one-click staging, on-demand backups, and 24/7 expert WordPress and WooCommerce support. So it's good to know that the support that they're offering is specific to WooCommerce and not just WordPress websites in general. You've got different sort of hosting plans, and again, they split between monthly and yearly. You've got DreamPress Plus, and DreamPress Pro. All of them is for the one WordPress website. They all have a free domain included, and you can see how many monthly visitors there are for. All of them have both of them have unmetered bandwidth, but then you've also got 120 GB SSD storage, so that's guaranteed to give you 200% faster performance. If you know you're a high capacity WooCommerce store, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of products, then you want to make sure that you get something that has a lot of speed, that offers a lot of speed. And yeah, all of them have the Jetpack also free and stored, so it's like a plugin to kind of help you monitor your performance and enhance it and everything as well. Then you've got unlimited CDN, one-click staging. Unlimited CDN is just for DreamPress Plus and Pro. You don't get it with the DreamPress, Basic. But you get the unlimited email, and you also get sort of free automated WordPress migrations as well. So again, it's another hosting company that has specific hosting for WooCommerce. So if you are a WooCommerce website, then you want to make sure that the hosting that you're picking not only is separate and is more specific to WooCommerce website, but that the support that they offer is capable, and you are able to get good support and technical information if you ever need it. Unlike the SiteGround, is that it doesn't offer sort of multi-channel platforms. So if you wanted to sell to other platforms like Amazon or Etsy, things like that, they don't offering much support for that. So SiteGround might be better if you know that's something that you want to do. So the basic pros of DreamHost is that there are award-winning hosting. They're rated really high in surveys for the reliability and tech support. They do offer a money-back guarantee. So they offer a 97-day money-back guarantee. That means you can cancel your account within 97 days of signing up and get a full refund. There's free domain and privacy, so every DreamHost plan that you buy includes one free domain name registration plus domain privacy, so your contact information isn't made public on the website, on any website. The monthly billing, if you were to choose monthly billing includes no sort of setup fee, and then you've got automatically daily backups as well, so they back up your site daily. However, it's also recommended for users to set up your own real-time sort of WordPress backups. So that's just using plugins like Updraft or WP on migration, just so you have your own kind of backups as well. But it's good that there's a hosting company that provides daily backups anyway, so you have that on server support as well. Some of the cons, again, so there's no email. So DreamHost doesn't offer email accounts for the starter plan, at least. But you can get it for $165 a month, or use an external business email provider. The other thing that is their support isn't immediate. So DreamHost has set times for live chat support and an email-based ticket system. That means it can take you a little bit longer before you get a response. And compared to what SiteGround and Bluehost offer, it's that can be seen as quite a negative. In case there's any real issue, if you're not being seen to immediately, it can be quite frustrating. So it's really important that you know that if you are someone that kind of is new to hosting, doesn't have a lot of technical background, that you are picking a hosting provider that has 24/7 support and quick and fast hosting support. So if anything does go wrong, there is someone on hand to help you out with that. So yeah, that's one of the I would say major cons of DreamHost, is that it's not immediate. In terms of performance test, for speed and stress tests, DreamHost ranks quite highly. Again, with the DreamPress Pro, you get that 120 GB SSD, which will which guarantees 200% faster site speed times. The way their support and customer service works is they offer the 24/7 email support via ticket system. So you can open a request for support through your DreamHost account dashboard. But they also offer live chat support. But again, it's between the hours of 5:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. I think Pacific time. So it's not as 24/7 as their ticket and also the way other hosting providers would be. But you do get that option. You can also request a callback, but it comes with an additional kind of fee. The live chat and phone support can be used for simple questions. But if anything with more complicated shows up, then users are kind of directly to open a support ticket anyway. A lot of reviews mention the quality of the support, though some reviewers are frustrated by not having access to immediate phone support. So if you're someone that you know will need to talk to someone or will need immediate phone support, then maybe DreamHost might not be the best option just because of that, but they do have dedicated hosting for WooCommerce and WordPress. They're very reliable in terms of speed and stress. So it is a good kind of platform to have. And again, it's an officially recommended WordPress hosting provider. Another popular WordPress hosting provider is Hostinger. They are slowly becoming well known in the WordPress hosting industry. They offer affordable hosting, 24/7 live chat support, and a good platform to host your website. Hostinger comes with one-click WordPress install, so similar to SiteGround, DreamHost, and Bluehost. And they come with managed automatic updates, enhanced security, free CDN, and things like that. WordPress speed acceleration and free site migration as well is something that's kind of being offered. Similar to SiteGround, they also offer geolocation-specific hosting with a choice of 7 data centers. So SiteGround had 6, Hostinger have 7. This includes data centers in the US, Europe, Asia, and South America. They are a very popular hosting provider. They serve over 29 million users in over 178 countries as well. So they are very popular and they are very sort of reliable as well. In terms of the web hosting plans, you can see that they offer 3 different support web hosting packages. However, unlike the previous hosting plans that we've seen, they only offer it per month. As a monthly billing cycle and not so much as a yearly. So you can see you've got the single web hosting, premium web hosting, and business web hosting. So with the single, you just get hosting for one website, but both the premium and the business web hosting, you get it for over 100 websites. So just 100 websites. And the other differences between them is that the amount of storage that you get with them. So you get 50 GB, 100 GB, and 200 GB, depending on which plan that you get. Similar to SiteGround, so it can be an issue if they offer a limited amount of storage. However, they give you quite big amounts of storage, and if you're just starting out, you're not going to be needing so much storage anyway. So it is a good amount of storage, but it is limited. Then you've also got the free email, but that's only being offered if you get the premium or the business web hosting. All of them come with unlimited free SSL. They all come with managed WordPress hosting, WordPress acceleration. That's to help kind of speed up your site. They all have the website builder as well. Another good few pros that they have is that they all have Git access. The main differences between all of them, though, is just the number of websites, the unlimited database. Neither the web hosting or the single web hosting offer staging. Only the Pro offers staging as well. You can sort of see payment terms here. So they offer quite a lot of things, especially within their basic. Some things that might be a little bit frustrating is that there is only one email account. Other things that they have is weekly backups. They don't have daily backups unless you were to upgrade to the business web hosting, which can seem a bit of a risk. So you can obviously set up your own backups on your site if you use Updraft or all-in-one migration, things like that.
However, the server itself will not back up your site every day. It will only back up every week. If you have the premium or the single web hosting plans. If you use the business, then they will do the daily backups. This can be seen as quite a big risk if you're only backing up your site once a week and you don't have any other backups. But they do offer that with the premium web or the business web hosting anyway. So the main pros, I think, for Hostinger would be that they, out of all of the hostings that we've seen so far, they offer the lowest price, albeit it is for monthly pricing only. They do have an offer for the first month, but then it goes back to $2.99 a month once you renew. They also have optimized performance. They are known for really great customer support, and the one-click WordPress install that's similarly offered to the other WordPress hosting providers that we've seen so far. They include a free domain, as long as you pick one of the premium or the business hosting plans, and free SSL on all of their hosting plans. And a really good pro of Hostinger is that they offer the multiple data centers, so similar to SiteGround, where SiteGround has 6 data centers. Hostinger has about 7, so that would really help your speed and performance as well. The biggest con I would say is the no daily backups. I think unless you are also doing backups yourself on your site every day, it's a big risk to only be doing backups on a weekly basis if you're going for one of these 2 plans. Unlike the other WordPress hosting providers that we've seen so far, like Bluehost, SiteGround, and DreamHost, Hostinger only has sort of one set of hosting plans for all WordPress types. So even the e-commerce plans, or even the e-commerce website, would fall under one of these plans. So they don't have sort of anything specific to cater for e-commerce websites, but they do have sort of the free SSL and really good optimized performance. So it should be enough anyway for your hosting your website, your e-commerce website. However, if you are looking for something that caters a bit more to WooCommerce based sites, then it might be better to go for one of the other hosting providers that we've seen so far. All of the plans have the WordPress hosting for the multiple data centers, so I think the performance, in terms of performance, is still really good. Hostinger is a good hosting provider. It has reliable support and an excellent set of features. So with the plans, you get the single shared hosting plan that includes one website, one email account. It's good for up to approximately 1 or 10,000 monthly visits, but again, it doesn't include free domain name. It also doesn't include the unlimited bandwidth that the rest of the plans offer. Premium, again, just offers a bit more websites that allow you to host 100 email accounts, the SSD storage, and it does include the free domain name and free email and the unlimited bandwidth that the single WordPress doesn't offer. The rest of the plans are more the same. They just offer more of what's already been offered for the premium. The main plan features are the one-click WordPress install and the WordPress website acceleration, the free SSL, the Git access, and the Cloudflare CDN. They also have 24/7 live chat support, and also each plan gets you access to.
So now that you have decided on a hosting provider, the next thing you want to do is install WordPress. So as I mentioned before, WordPress.org is the actual software that is the WordPress CMS. And once you have the site set up, you then on your hosting provider, then you just need to install WordPress onto it. Depending on who your hosting provider is, it depends on how you install WordPress. As we've seen before, there's lots of hosting providers out there that offer WordPress as a one-click installation. With one-click installation, all you need to do is log into your hosting account and click Install WordPress, choose a domain name you want to install, and agree to the license and service agreement. If you're manually installing WordPress, you need to download WordPress to your computer first and then re-upload to your hosting provider and follow the instructions on their site. Alternatively, if installing manually is proving a little bit more too technical than for what you're prepared for, and if your hosting provider doesn't offer WordPress one-click install, what you can do is get a tool like local WP and have them install it for you.
You just go onto localwp.com and click on download for free and choose your platform, so whether you're Mac, Windows, or Linux, and just click Windows and type in your first name, last name, work email, things like that. Once you've submitted that information, it'll start downloading the package for you. Once the program has been downloaded, you'll see something like this come up. So it's essentially the local by Flywheel dashboard. So you can see there's a few sites set up already, but essentially this will be blank for you and you can start adding new sites from here. So to add a new site, all you need to do is click on this big plus button at the bottom here to add a local site. And you want to click create new site. And you want to give it a site name. And this will be the part of the names of your website. You can go into advanced options and you can choose your own domain and site path. This is essentially where the files of your website will remain, but you would just click continue. And then you want to make sure that you have the preferred environment. You can choose custom and you can sort of decide which PHP version you want to use, what web server you want to use, what database version you want to use. But if you're unsure about all that, you can always go on to preferred as the way to go. And you just click continue, and you want to give your WordPress username and password. And this is the WordPress username and password that you're going to use to sign in. And the WordPress email as well. And you want to change that to something that you can have access to in case you ever need to reset your profile or anything like that. Again, within advanced options, you can decide if it's a multi-site or not, whether it has a subdirectory or subdomain. And then all you need to do is click add to site or add site. And the WordPress will essentially, or local by Flywheel will essentially start packaging up your site and building it for you. So you can see the site being added here, creating all the site folders, and it's doing everything for you. You don't need to do any other bit of work. Just wait for that to download. And you can see it's adding in all the services for you as well. And you can see it's adding WordPress as well, and everything is being added for you. Once that's been installed, you can see that you have the overview here of the website that we just installed. And already this has WordPress with the version that we wanted, with the SQL that we wanted, and the PHP version that we wanted as well. And there's nothing else that we need to do. All we need to do now is just open the site, edit it however we need to. So to open the site, what you want to do is click on this one here, WP admin, to open the admin version of the website, or the admin login version. And you use the email address that we set up in the beginning. And you can see immediately we were met with the familiar WordPress dashboard. There's nothing more that we need to do. Everything's been installed, all the PHP, everything has been installed. And by default, it's using the 2023 theme that we have. You can visit the site and see how it looks like this. It's using 2023 theme. It's a completely blank WordPress install. And from there, you can start editing the site how you need to. So in terms of WordPress overview, this is the dashboard, and this is where you'll see the main kind of WordPress updates that you have, depending on what themes and plugins that you have installed as well. The first thing that you might want to do is tidy this up a little bit. So for example, remove any bigger ads. So let's example this welcome section here, you can just dismiss it. And other things you can do is change these boxes that you first see in the beginning. For example, WordPress events and news. If you do need that, you can keep it where it is, or you can click and drag these boxes to where you want it. If there's some of these boxes that you absolutely don't need, so for example, the news and events, you can go into screen options and you can uncheck the boxes that you don't need. So this is the WordPress news and events. I don't really need that, so I'm going to click on WordPress news and events, and that's been taken away. I don't need quick draft, so I can take that away as well, and everything else. And so this dashboard is fully customizable, and there'll be things added to it the more plugins that you add. So for example, if you add Gravity Forms, you'll get another box for Gravity Forms, Elementor, any kind of plugins, SEO plugins, things like that. They'll all be added here as a dashboard as well. Within the dashboard, you have the update section, and any upcoming updates that you'll need to do will be set here. So right now, everything's up to date, but the more plugins you'll add, the more likely you need to be updating them kind of every week. And you'll see an overview of what plugins and themes need to be updated as well. And you can also see what version of WordPress that it's currently on as well. Next, you have the post section. And this is where all of the blog content goes. So by default, when you first install WordPress, you'll have the Hello World blog post. You can click into that. It's already published, and you can see how the blog looks on the back end and how it looks on the front end. This post overview is where you'll add all of the post content. So you can have all of the post content here, and you can add all the post blocks as well with Gutenberg, whether that's heading, gallery, paragraph, images, things like that. You can add all of them and click into all of them as well. Within the post content, you can add featured images. So if you click on featured image, you'll be able to upload images directly from your computer library, or you can directly from your media library. And media library is essentially all the images that you've uploaded to your site will be saved here that you can reuse on different parts of your website as well. Your posts can be organized into categories and tags as well. And you can give it an excerpt, and depending on what theme you use, the excerpt will show on like the post page or like the home page. It might not always show. Sometimes the listing will only show a heading and an image, hence why it says optional. It just depends on your theme. So this is the overview of the posts. And again, all the posts that you write, whether they're published or not, they'll all be showed up here with the publishing date as well. Similar to the dashboard, if you click on screen options, you can really customize this dashboard. So for example, you can customize what columns can be seen. So if you don't want to see the column, the author column or the comments column, you can take those away. You can decide how many number of items per page. So by default set to 20. You can set it to 10 or 30. Obviously, the bigger this number is, the longer it might take to load this dashboard. So just to be aware of that. And then you've got compact view and extended view as well. So it's up to you how you want to display this dashboard of yours. But essentially all of your posts, plugins, dashboard will all be here. And then you can filter by dates as well. You can filter by categories, and you can do bulk actions as well and things like that. Other things you can do within this post dashboard, you can see there's the add new button, and this will just add new menu. This will just add a new post. You can do that here. You can do that in the add new button over here. And you can also do it under the new button as well under post. And you can also organize your categories. So if you click into categories, by default, WordPress will always have the uncategorized category. But you can also add new categories. So to add a new one, you would just type in the name of the category. The URL slug, you don't have to type that in. If you leave it blank, it'll just take the name title and use that as the slug. And then you can give it a description as well. Again, similar to the excerpt of a post, it's not always visible. Sometimes it'll just show just the name and just the name of it and the link. But some themes may choose to show it, so you can give it a description as well. It's also good for back-end use, so you can describe what this category is for, and then you can click Add New Category. And then other thing you can do is assign it a parent category. So if you have a category that's meant to be a subcategory of an existing category, all you would need to do is type in the name of the category, and then under parent category, you want to give it the actual category that it's meant to be a subcategory of. Give it a description if you'd like, and click Add New Category. And you can see there's no limit on how many categories you can apply or you can add. You can add as many as you need, but essentially you want to make sure that you're adding parent categories if you need to. And then once you've added all your categories, you can then assign those posts to the different categories. You can also add categories directly from the post's backend. If you click into a post, you can see there is the option for categories, and you can see the existing category that we have, and we can also add a new category directly from here as well. And you can add a parent category to that as well, and then update as you need. Another thing you can do is add tags as well. Tags are similar to categories, except tags have no hierarchy. It's just another way of organizing your categories, but there's no like sub tag or anything like that equivalent to like a subcategory. To add a new tag, you would just type in the name of the tag that you want. You can give it a slug if you want, but if not, similar to categories, it'll just take the name of the tag and use that as a slug. And again, similar to the description, it's not just displayed by default. It just depends on the theme that you use. Will it display the category or the tag or not? And just click Add New Tag to add that as a tag. The next thing then is the media library, and the media library is essentially where all of your media is stored once you've uploaded it to the site. This isn't just images, it can be content like documents, audio files, video files, PDFs, things like that. It's all going to be saved here. To add a new one directly to the media library, you can click on Add New, click on Select Files, and it'll open up your computer library. And you could just click on the file that you want. And you can see it uploads immediately. And you can see when you give it, when you upload it, you have space to add alt text. Alt text is really good for SEO because it tells Google search engines what this image is about, and you can rank for this text as well. And you can give it a caption, and again, depending on the theme that you use, sometimes it'll display the caption. Another thing that it does is it can copy the URL to it'll give each file a URL. This will be good if you have any documents to display. You can paste the URL in buttons, so then when people click on it, they can download a PDF. But essentially all of your items and media files will go here. The next tab you have is the pages, and the pages tab is where basically all the pages of your website go. So by default, you get the privacy page and the sample page, but if you want, you can add a new page just through here. And you can add the name of the page. Now, depending on how you plan on building your site, if you have a theme and you've decided to purchase a theme, then, or even download a free theme, then the home page can be edited from here. If you decide to use a page builder like Divi or Elementor, you can design your own page using those elements as well. It's just important that you have the actual page set up first and give it a featured image. And then depending on what theme and what plugins you're using, you can edit the pages that way. The next thing then is the comments. So if there's a comment section on any part of your website, usually it's in the blogs, they'll all be here. And the way the comments work is that they kind of allow your visitors to have a discussion with you and each other. And when you activate comments on a page or a post, WordPress installs several kind of text boxes after your content where people can submit their comments. And you can see with the comments, you can change the status of them to pending, which means comments are submitted by your visitors but won't be visible on your blog. Approved, meaning comments are published and are visible. Spam are comments flagged as spam, and then trash are comments marked as unwanted and they'll be automatically deleted after 30 days. You can reply to comments, and you can also choose to edit anyone's comments as well. Once a visitor submits his or her comments, WordPress will follow your preferences and either hold the comment for your approval or post it immediately. If you see a comment that's been marked as spam and you actually realize it's a real comment, then you can mark it as not spam as well. To look at your discussion settings, all you need to do is go into settings and go into discussion. And you can see the comment settings here. So you can choose to whether or not allow people to post a comment without filling their name or email, if they have to be logged in. If posts are older than 14 days, you can automatically close comment boxes. So older comment posts aren't are able to have comments on them. You can show comments cookies, you can break comments into pages, things like that. You can set up notifications as well. So if anyone posts a comment, you get an email, or if a comment is held for moderation. Your default post settings is allow people to submit comments on new posts, or you can allow link and notifications from other blogs. Before a comment appears, you can decide if you want to manually approve the comment, or if the author has previously approved comment, then you can allow it to post as well. So all your discussion settings are set here. The next thing then is appearance. So this is where all of your themes go. So WordPress uses themes to control the design and layout of your site. Themes are essentially site files that are stored, and they control every part of your website in terms of how the header should look, how a default page structure should be, the footer, things like that. So when you first install WordPress, you get the 2023 theme, or depending on what year you install WordPress, it'll be a new theme depending on the year. To add a new theme, all you need to do is click on Add New. And you can see the theme directory here. There's loads of themes you can pick from. Free and paid. So if you go into the feature filter, what you can do is you can browse by subject if you know what type of website you're doing. If it's a food and drink website, if there's certain features you want to add with certain layouts. So for example, if you click blog and click apply filters, it'll show all the themes that are optimized for like a blog content layout. And you can click into them and you can preview them as well. So if I click on preview, it can show me basically the fonts that are going to be used, the colors and things like that. And it can also give you a briefing as well as to how this theme works and things like that. So on the WordPress directory itself, there's free themes, but you can also go onto websites like Envato Elements to look at premium themes as well. So all your themes basically are managed here. Next thing is the plugins. So plugins are essentially a piece of software that plugs into your WordPress site. Plugins can add new functionality, extend existing functionality on your site that allows you to create any kind of website. So for example, if you wanted to make a e-commerce website on your WordPress, then you need to install a plugin called WooCommerce, which is an all-in-one solution for e-commerce websites for you to sell products, set up products, sell them, create shipping information, delivery information, things like that. Booking websites, you might want to use plugins like Amelia. event management websites, plugins like Modern Event Calendar, all are plugins that extend the functionality and create new functionality. There are also plugins to help performance, so things like caching plugins. There's also plugins that help communications, like Gravity Forms to help for forms plugins as well. Then there's also page builders, which are different kind of plugins. To add a new plugin, you need to just go into the plugin. There's two ways. You can either go into plugins, click on add new, and open the WordPress directory for plugins. All the free plugins will be found in the WordPress directory. So things like Classic Editor, Gutenberg, BuddyPress are all free plugins. You can go into popular and see what the popular plugins are, what recommended plugins there are, and things like that. And they're all free, and you can install them directly to the WordPress directory. So for example, if we go into WooCommerce and click install now, that'll install the plugin. After installing it, you need to activate it as well. So we'll wait for this to install, and you'll see after we need to activate it. So now it's been installed. So now we just click activate to actually activate the plugin. And all plugins that you install will need be installed the same way. You just need to install it first and then click activate. And usually what happens whenever you add a new plugin is that it'll add itself onto the side menu here. Sometimes when you install them, they come with a setup wizard as well. So you can set up as a step-by-step guide as opposed to as yourself. We have a full video on how to set up WooCommerce in our channel below if you'd like to check that out. In the meantime, we'll just skip the setup wizard for this for WooCommerce for now. And you can see with the new plugin, it's added itself to the left menu. Sometimes it adds itself as new tabs. So like the WooCommerce plugin adds itself as new tabs on the left. And sometimes they add itself within existing tabs. So sometimes it'll be within the settings tab, and sometimes they'll be within the tools tab. And they'll be kind of set up here. Within the plugins dashboard, so as you add more and more plugins, initially there's no plugins added when you first install WordPress, but all the plugins that you add will be in the plugins dashboard, and as well as in the updates dashboard tab, you'll also see the updates here. So if there's a plugin that needs updating, it'll show here that a plugin needs updating, and you can update directly from the public plugins dashboard. So that's one way to add plugins. The other way to add plugins, and this is more for if this is a paid plugin, is if you go to the plugins website directly and purchase the plugin and download it from there. So for example, the Elementor plugin. Elementor is a really popular page builder. While the Elementor Basic is free, the Pro version of Elementor is a paid plugin. So in order to get the plugin, what you need to do is create an account, purchase a plugin. If you click on the pricing, and look for the page builder plugin or whichever plugin it is that you want, and essentially buy the plugin that you need. You'll be able to access the plugin from your account page and download the plugin from there. And then once you have the plugin downloaded, what you need to do is go into Upload Plugin, choose File, and select the plugin that you've just downloaded. And just open that plugin. Make sure that it's zipped and you don't unzip the plugin that you have, and just click Install Now to begin installing that plugin. And then once it's installed, you want to click Activate Plugin. And you can see the plugin's been installed and activated. With some plugins, it'll let you know if you're missing something. So for example, this plugin here, where you're missing the basic Elementor plugin, so you can download it directly from there. But essentially all of your plugins, you're going to be managing from this plugin's dashboard. The next tab you want to go over is the users, and this is essentially where all of the users that have access to your site, any kind of access to your site, will be stored here. This includes any admin users, editor users, and users, subscriber users, things like that. So there's lots of different roles for users. There's admin, who have complete control over the website. When you first install WordPress, your admin user that you add is an admin user. Admin users can add, edit, delete users. They can control content across each site. Then you've got the editor, which can manage and publish posts and schedule content, but they can't install, activate plugins, or manage themes. Then you've got the author user, who can write and publish their own posts and pages. They can delete their own posts, but they can't publish, edit, or delete anyone else's posts. So editors can do that, authors can't. Contributors can write their posts as well, but they have to post it for review. They can't publish it themselves. An admin or an editor account will need to publish it themselves. And then you've got subscriber, and they can manage their own profiles, read their posts on WordPress site, but they can't write their own publish or posts or write their own blogs or anything like that. So to create a new user role, you need to have the user attach it to. So what you need to do is go into Add New on the user dashboard. And the first thing you need to add is their username. So this is the username that they'll use to sign into. Then you want to assign them an email, and it's important that you give them an email so that if there's any issues, they can reset their own passwords and things like that. Then you can give them a first name and a last name. This just makes it a bit more personable when they log in. So you can see at the top here, it says my name at the top, so it makes it a bit more personable. It's good if you're adding a client to your website. You can have their first name and last name. And next thing, then you need to generate a password. There's two ways to do the password. You can either generate a random password, and if you're assigning the website for another person, you can send them the password. That's not always the best thing to do, as sending passwords over email or anything isn't secure. So what you can do instead is send a user notification. So instead of you setting the password, the users will get email from WordPress saying this is your email account, this is your user account, and then they'll give them a link to set their own passwords essentially. And the next thing, then you want to give them the role. So you've got obviously admin, editor, author, contributor, and subscriber. Because we added WooCommerce, it added 2 new user roles as for customer and shop manager. So depending on what plugins you add, there's be some other user roles that will be added, but by default the main ones are admin, editor, author, contributor, and subscriber. And you select which user that you have, and then just click add new user. And you can see in the user's dashboard exactly, who's on the site, what users have access, and again, with like the other ones, you have screen options, and you can control what is actually on the screen as well. Next thing then is the tools, and these are essentially WordPress tools. You won't always need them. It's good for if you're importing and exporting things from one site to another, from one WordPress site to another. The main thing you want to look at is the site health, and this gives you an overview of the general state of your site. What it'll do is it'll give you recommendations on what you should do. So one of the recommendations is to remove inactive themes to help your site security, and one or more recommended modules are missing. So some modules are missing for PHP. So what you want to do is essentially look at the site health, and if you have the technical capability, you can sort out these site health issues by yourself. The other thing you can do is take these issues and contact your hosting provider, as they'll be able to be equipped on how to handle these issues. They'll either tell you how to do it or they can do it themselves. The other thing you can do then is settings, and this is the general settings for your WordPress website. Things like your site title and tagline are controlled here. Depending on if you have a membership site, you can decide if you want anyone can register. Default roles, as we said, was subscriber, but you can change that to default role to be editor, or whatever default role that you want. It's also important that you have the correct time zone, time format, date format, and site language on your site as well, and what week the site starts on. Then you've got other options like writing. So with that, you have options on what category something's supposed to be on, what post format something's supposed to be on, things like that. And then you've got reading as well. So if the home page is meant to display your latest posts, or static page. If it's a static page, you can decide which is your home page and which is your post page, and how many posts the blog page is meant to show at a time, and full text post feed as well. Another important feature that you may or may not want to use is search engine visibility. So whether or not you want to discourage search engines from indexing the site. Now, if your site is not ready for public viewing, you can check that. Again, it's up to search engines to honor this request, but essentially there'll be robots blocking the site and Google will be able to visit it. It's, I guess, useful if you wanted to stop people from looking at a site that's not finished. However, you need to remember to enable that again. Otherwise, once the site is ready and this isn't enabled, it won't be ranking for anything. Next thing then is permalinks. So with the permalinks, by default it'll just show post name, but you can give it a custom structure or a plain structure as well. You want to go for something a bit readable, so post name or custom structure would work. And then just save your changes once you're done. So that's basically it. That's how you would install WordPress and a basic kind of overview of WordPress. You can now start the process of actually building your WordPress website. The first thing you want to consider when you're building your WordPress website is a theme. So WordPress is a website that allows for unlimited customization, which is a real positive if you are someone that likes to take control of your website's design, and if you have the technical background and the coding knowledge to do it. If you don't understand coding, or it's not your strong suit, then WordPress have lots of beautiful themes to help you design a really gorgeous website. WordPress themes come with a variety of themes that serve as like a template for your website, and then from there you can tweak aesthetics, add your own content to personalize it, and you'll be able to test each theme before committing to an aesthetic, which kind of allows you to work out what looks best on your site and does it serve its purpose. So to install a free WordPress theme, all you need to do is what you want to do is go into your dashboard and then go down to themes. Under appearance, you just want to click on themes, and then you just want to click add new, And then from here you can sort of select different themes. You can search, browse for different themes. You can search for the theme name if you already have it, or you can use this kind of feature filter to filter between different themes. The other way you can do it is, if you don't have the site set up yet, is that you can download the theme from the WordPress website. So that's wordpress.org/themes, and set up the same way as a directory. You'll see a bunch of different themes ready for you to kind of download, and you can again use the feature filter to filter between what kind of theme that you want, and then just simply download whatever theme it is that you want. Come back to the WordPress dashboard on your site, click on Upload Theme, choose the file, and then select the file that you had just downloaded. So that's the theme file that you have, and then it'll install and you can just activate it. When it comes to choosing a theme, you want to select a theme that you like the best, but also that would suit your needs. And there's a few other things to consider when selecting one, and this includes things like the cost, the actual design and the look of it, compatibility with different plugins you may need to use, and sort of how easy the theme is to edit and how much control you have over certain aspects of the site layout. And you want to make sure the theme is responsive as well. So when it comes to picking a theme that would suit your needs, you need to consider the functionality and the purpose of your site. So like, what is your website about? What is it used for? If it's like, is it a personal blog website? Is it a travel blog kind of website, a portfolio site? Is it going to be an e-commerce site where you're trying to sell products online? Things like that. So obviously when you come to the WordPress directory, obviously it can be a bit overwhelming. There's lots of themes to kind of go for, lots of themes to pick. So what you can do is use the feature filter here, and within this filter you can actually select the subject, and this is essentially the subject of your website. Is it going to be a blog website, e-commerce, entertainment, food and drink, things like that? So you would select the website that the category that fits best the website that you're going to make. As you can see, so the reason why it's different is that a website for a blog might be laid out completely differently to a website that's for an e-commerce, because both of those themes will focus on different things. The blog themed themes will focus on what's the best way to display written content to the user, and the e-commerce themes will focus on how to show as many products, how to display products nicely in a way that kind of catch the user's eye. So it's really important to think about what the purpose of the website is, and overall, what do you want your customers to do? Do you want them to read your blogs? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to book your service? Things like that. So what you want to do then is, once you've selected, once you go through these options, you can click into it for more information, and what you can do is you can click this preview button, and this will show you the website, the theme as a website as opposed to pictures, and that way you can really see sort of how the theme is going to work. So like, what kind of colors are they going to use, what kind of font styles, font settings, things like that. Some previews will also show you different pages and even single block templates and things like that. When you are selecting a site, there's certain things that you should look out for. So for example, say you've seen the preview of this and you like it, you want to check for things like the ratings. So you want to read the reviews of the site if there are any. You want to make sure that people that have downloaded this site and used this theme, are they happy with it? Would they recommend it? If there's any known common issues or bugs, people will tend to write about them. If you are using a theme that maybe doesn't have any ratings, maybe because it's new, and things like that, I think just be kind of a bit wary. Always have a theme downloaded that you can switch back to if the new theme that you've added doesn't work out okay. But essentially you want to look at the ratings as well and see if there's any known issues or if everything's okay. The other thing that you want to make sure is that it's being updated frequently. So if the last updated is maybe like a few months ago or maybe a few years ago, I would suggest to stay away from those, because it would probably be a sort of an insecure theme. Plugins are always being updated pretty much every week, and if the theme isn't being updated at the same time, newer versions of plugins won't work with older version of the theme. Old themes as well, they're both susceptible to attacks. So keeping a theme up to date is really important, as well as keeping your plugins up to date. So you want to make sure that the last updated is a recent time and not anything like a few months ago or a few years back. And you want to just check the PHP version as well and make sure that it's compatible with the PHP versions of other plugins that you might be using at the time. And then yeah, so you want to look at that as well, and then just see if there's anything else within the description or anything else that you want to look out for. Another place where you can get themes is the Envato Elements website. So Envato Elements not only do WordPress themes, they also do like custom fonts, any placeholder photos, graphics, things like that. It's a really good place to go if you don't have a lot of content in terms of imagery, any graphics and things like that. It is a paid service, so you are paying for essentially the service to download some of the themes and use them on your website as well. But essentially, if you have this account, what you want to do is under web templates, you want to go to all web templates. All CMS templates even. And you want to go into WordPress themes, and you can see a whole bunch of themes. Some of them you might find for free on the WordPress directory, but a lot of themes would be premium themes. And again, you can use the filters to filter by sort of what kind of website, so e-commerce, portfolio, agency, blog, things like that. And then another thing you can also do is see what themes are compatible with certain plugins. So you see this filter here, so compatible with, and you can see there's a whole bunch of popular plugins that people tend to use, like WP PageBakery, WooCommerce, Elementor. So if you know that these are plugins that you plan on using, like if you plan on using a builder, then you want to select a theme that is compatible with that. So what you can do is so what you can do is, if you know you're going to use Elementor on your website, then you can select Elementor and Elementor Pro, and it'll then filter themes that are compatible with Elementor and that you can use Elementor with it. If you select maybe one of the themes, same thing as if you were to select a theme from the WordPress directory, there is a preview section, so it'll show you the theme as a website. Yep, so you can see the site here, and you can scroll down and really click through it and see what it's going to be like. So for example, this is agency, this is a consulting page, this is a marketing page, business page, things like that. And essentially all of this will be filled with placeholder content, and it's up to you then to change the content that you will add to the website, but at least you can see what this site will look like, what colors they're using, and the layouts and things like that. So this is another theme here, and you can see it's set up, the theme is set up exactly like a website, and you can sort of click around it and see exactly what you can change and what you can change the content on, what it would look like. The good thing about some of these themes, so like this is a theme that's compatible with Elementor, is that because most of the pages have already been built, it saves you a lot of time in the beginning, especially if you just are wanting a site up just for a place for people to have some kind of online presence. This saves you a bit of time from designing like a full website. All you need to do is maybe change a few colors, update the content, update the imagery, and that way you have a working site with not a lot of time invested into it, but at least it's how you want it. To check how responsive a site is, or a theme is, what you can do is right click onto the theme, click on inspect, and you'll see this might be to the side, so let me just put this aside. You can see in this button here, this is a responsive toggle. So if you click on that, you can select which device to view this theme on. So I've selected iPad Air, so it's viewing with this dimension, and you can see this is what the theme will look like. This is what these sections will look like if you were to use these themes, and you can see that it is not bad on mobile. So you know that you are picking a responsive site or not, depending on what theme that you're using. So it's really important to check for that, as more and more people are using their phones to browse online. So making sure you pick a responsive theme is important. So just like the WordPress directory, you want to make sure, you want to read through and see what exactly comes within the theme. So for this one, there's like 4 homepage templates, 9 inner pages, header footer builder, fully responsive, and things like that. And also here, it'll show you the plugins required. So this is something to watch out for with some of the Envato ones, is that when they were when people build some of these themes, they do require these plugins. Now, depending on what they used each plugin for, you might not need to download all of them. So if, for example, the Met form, that's usually a contact form plugin. So if you don't download that, it's not that you can't download the theme at all. The theme will be downloaded, but whichever area of the theme is using Met form, that part won't be showing. So Met form is for contact form, so any part where there's a contact form won't show, so maybe replace that with something else, or just download Met form. So it's important that you have access to all of these, and it tells you exactly what you need access to. So Elementor, Elements, Kit Lite, Met form, all of these. Usually but you don't need to download these separately. What you need to do actually is just download the entire thing, and then using the Envato Elements plugin, you're going to import that file. So just to show you, so once you have obviously an account set up, you just want to click on download, and it's going to ask you to add a file to this project. So the projects are within your account, so this can be like the name of the this can be the name of the site, and you just want to add the file, the theme, to the project. So now we have the theme, and now what we need to do then is download the Envato Elements plugin. And to do that, you just need to go back to your WordPress dashboard and go into plugins, and so you can see I've already downloaded Envato Elements here, but all you need to do is click Add New, and then click and search for Envato Elements. If it's not showing up on the WordPress directory, you can also just go into WordPress plugins, wordpress.org/plugins, and then just look for it there, but essentially just download that and then add that to your Once it's installed and activated, all you need to do is go down to, you'll see a new tab for elements, and this is the Envato Element Kit, and then what you want to do is click Template Kits. And you can see the template kits are already showing here, but then what you can do then, just make sure your account is connected, and then what you can do then is go into installed kits, and you want to upload template kit zip file, and this is just a zip file of the template kit that we downloaded earlier, and that's the plugin downloaded. Once you have your theme downloaded, it should apply to every part of your website, and just make sure that it's activated on the themes page before you go to check, and then you can start seeing where to customize your theme. So if you go into customize, it should show you all the options on what you can change, so things like the site identity, homepage settings, header and footer, all of that you can update here. So it's up to you to kind of see how you're editing the theme. And what you can also do then is, if you realize actually you don't like this theme, you can switch back to a previous theme. So if you go back to theme here, so it's not good to have lots of themes, so you want to keep the theme that you currently have, and then you also then just want to keep like a backup theme. So that's in case if anything goes wrong, or if you ever need to debug an issue, then it's good to keep one of the 2021-2023 themes, just so there's something that you can switch to if you ever need to debug an issue or anything like that. And it's really simple. You just click on activate, and it'll activate the new theme. So just be careful of that. So now we can go over some popular themes. One of the most popular themes used especially is the Hello Elementor theme. So the Elementor plugin, Page Builder, is one of the most popular page builders there is out there, and the same team that built that also created the new Hello theme, and essentially it's fully designed to work really well with the Elementor Pro plugin. It's very lightweight, and yeah, 100% tailored to Elementor. I think if you are building a website that is using a specific builder, and that builder comes with its own theme, I think the best thing to do would be download that theme as well, because then you know you're downloading you're downloading a theme that's optimized to work with the builder. And it's really important, since builders themselves are quite heavy plugins, that you keep the theme really nice and lightweight to not add any more load time. But essentially it just means that both your sites will, both theme and the plugin will work seamlessly. And so Elementor itself is very responsive, it's SEO friendly, it's very lightweight, and it's also free. So you can, Elementor, the basic plugin is free, and also the Hello theme is free. It's just the Pro plugin that's you would need to pay for. But even if you were just to get the Elementor plugin, the basic one, and with the Hello theme, you've still got a good site going along the way. You would just need to create an account. So yeah, the Hello Elementor theme is one of the most popular ones. Another theme that's really popular is the Astra theme. So the Astra theme is, again, really fast, really lightweight, and a very, very customizable WordPress theme. The good thing about Astra is that it comes with thousands of pre-built templates that are ready to use. They are responsive, and they're very modern kind of design. And the good thing else about it is that you can customize everything really, really easily. And you can also see it integrates with a lot of different other plugins, like the Elementor plugin, WooCommerce, LearnDash, and it's a very, very popular plugin as well. So you know that there's sort of a lot of good reviews, and there's a lot of support as well. So any themes that come with their own kind of support team would be highly recommended, just because then if there's any issues with the plugin itself, if there's any issues with understanding how it works, it's very easy to just submit a ticket and have someone get back to you on how to solve any issues that you're having. Astra, and it's the basic theme is free, but then there's also a Pro version, and if you go onto their website, you can click on Pro. You can see that they've got different functionality, so things like more color controls, custom layouts, and spacing controls. So with the Astra Pro, it's almost like a builder, where you can have a bit more control over the actual site layout. So if that's important to you, then I would recommend probably either a builder and a theme that works well with the builder, so maybe like the Elementor and the Hello Elementor theme, or a theme like Astra, where a lot of things are very, very customizable, and they already have a lot of templates that you can sort of work with as well, and it integrates with WooCommerce, so you don't need to worry about having something separate for e-commerce websites if you needed to. Another theme that's really popular is the OceanWP theme. It's a very lightweight theme, and very easy to customize as well. And the good thing about it is that it's free, and also works with page builders like Elementor, Beaver Builder, and Divi as well. You will need to connect it to a license. So if you go into their pricing, you can see the different kind of pricing plans they have for premium or for personal, up to 3 sites, 6 sites, or 50 sites, depending on what you need. But if you look through what they have, so OceanWP is fully compatible with Elementor, and other plugins as well.
So once you have your theme decided and you have your theme covered, you need to design your site through the theme customizer. So WordPress offers lots of customization options to make your work stand out from other sites. The first step of customization is your site title. So log into your WordPress dashboard, hit settings and go into general. And then from here you can add your own title besides site title, and you can also add a short description of what your site is about by typing in a bio in this tagline here. And then you want to just click on Save Changes. Another feature that you need to make sure is added to your site is a nav menu. So this allows users to find your content and find your web pages with ease as well. When you're in your WordPress dashboard, click on Appearance and then go into Menus. And then from here you can add all of the menu pages, all the pages to your navigational menu. Once you've hit Save, your menu will be live on your site. You also need to make sure that your homepage is set as well. And it can either be static or dynamic. A static page will keep the same content, but if you use a dynamic page, it'll change content as you update your site with new blogs and new products and things like that. So to do that, you just want to go into General and you want to go into Reading. And then from there, you'll be navigated over here from where it says Front Page Displays, and you can select whether you want a static or dynamic page. If you do decide to have a static page, then you want to make sure that the page that you decide to make static, it does have a blog section, so it can show your latest blogs and make that section dynamic as well. As well as themes, there's lots of different plugins you can use to help customize your site. So using plugins is a great way of customizing your website and can create a really cool space and add lots of more functionality to your site. Plugins are features not offered by sites but can be installed, like an app to enhance your site's experience. There are over 56,000 plugins available for WordPress, so there is something for everyone. Something to make sure about though is that too many plugins can slow down your website, so only use plugins that will enhance your site's functionality. Plugins like Yoast SEO and Rank Math can help with your SEO, and WooCommerce gives WordPress and e-commerce functionality. To pick a good plugin, read all the reviews and research what would best serve your site. To install a new plugin, all you need to do is go into the plugin section, click Add New, and you can search for the plugin that it is that you want to activate. Or if you have the plugin file on your computer, you can just simply click Upload Plugin, choose File, and it'll upload plugin from the file editor. You can configure your plugins through settings, and just always make sure that your plugins are up to date and you update them yourself as often as possible, as that can also leave a big impact on your site. And that's it. Once you have all your pages set up and all your blogs set up, that's essentially your site live and ready for people to view. There's also things to think about in terms of choosing a domain, choosing a hosting provider, and then finally designing your website. But it's really important that you take your time with it and see what kind of works well for you in terms of your skill set and what works well for you in terms of your budget as well. And that'll help you kind of make decisions based on sort of what features you need in terms of your hosting provider and also in terms of how you want to edit your site as well.